investors have reasonable and moderate risk. Speculators have higher risk. Gambling has very less and also very less chances.
Gambling has highest risk.
High risk.
Okay, immense. Okay.
Debit of income or growth investors is begins uncertain and gambling slows in types of investors in IMF spends, caution and conservative. Speculating is aggressive and high risk. Gambling is related to social investment or investment. It's Indian stock market. Russian methods started in 1990. Before 1994, now 2030. Physical appearance of the stock market in before 1992. Now, digital demat format. Shares will be formed because before 1992, high transaction was that the school was there. Now, after 1992, transaction cost 0.1 was there. Before 1992, less term return on interest like 400 crores per day. But now, having huge term over like 30 lakhs crores per day. Before 1992, plus 15 settlements, savings trading fee to buy shares or to get shares or offer traders to work. But after 1992, get shares in order to education settlement. Before 92, there is an account period settlement. But after 1992, there are rolling settlement. Fixed price in IPOs. IPOs is Indian public offering. Initial public offering. Next, trading life cycle. Trading life cycle can be categorized in 3 types: trading, clearing, settlement. Clearing. Clearing means the buyer is having the money that they are having the shares. Then buyer will get the shares, then will get the money. It's the KPOs. KPOs means knowledge process outsourcing. KPOs is the process of outsourcing knowledge intensive activity that are data driven and ends up with the process of gathering, managing, analyzing, and deliverable of the set. For example, KPOs provide financial consultation, R&D, research and development, and business operations. SSHS wrote which began by these are the functions and the working KPOs. Mission of the company. Mission of the company is the private market. Private market. It can refers to the process of adopting shares of a private corporation of the stock brokers. Types of market. There are 2 types: primary market and secondary market. Indirect trading is called. Indirect trading is the information stock is the computer. Example, is the example of indirect trading. So long-term management income like directors, POs, managers, the indirect traders. Indian securities market semi-regulated. Can be classified in 4 types: stock exchange, clearing corporation, depositories, and companies. And stock exchange can be classified broker. Depositories that's the one that depository and companies other retail design merchants, backwards, etc. Geographic settlement guarantee fund. National stock exchange have around 1600 companies. Bombay stock exchange have around 5,290 companies. Indian stock market is stock market indices capture the movement of the stock market as a whole. This is achieved by averaging which chances of change the price of individual stocks. Stock market itself fully cross-currency prediction. and it is a particular day or any point of a time period. The stock prices keep changing. Some stock right, some stock for other period and index number is the money level that indicates change in the value period or set of value investment. Index is the representative of the market or index is proxy. Proxy is movement of the market. 80% trading that is the market derivatives, 20% that is the stock derivatives. BSE section 30 and is the standard for market index. The change in the index compared to the reference or the base value indicates the investments. Whether the market as a whole is going up or going down or changing. So index that we target is this formula is index equals to total market capitalization. Right? Base is market capitalization. For example, 40,000 is the total market capitalization. Base year market capitalization is 200. Next, stock indices can be used as a lead indicator to the performance of the overall economy or the sector of the economy. Barometer for the market behavior, benchmark of portfolio performance, underlying for derivatives and index future and options. Support for research. Marker banded factors. These are the dictionary of financial prices. These three are the financial prices. Study of financial prices. Price of stock, you can just call it figures. The first figure is company trying to develop like product cost, closure of factory, or stock keep distribute, etc. The scientific development is the company specific list or diversible list or non-systematic list. The second reason is development affecting the general environment like nuclear bombs, election result, budget announcement, etc. The general environment is the market list or systematic list or non-diversible list. It affects the stock market as a whole. Illustration. Illustration means a graph or image that may be in a book or advertisement or in a camera or a video. And illustration is usually distinguished from a photography. Can be used in a market for purchasing their products for advertising. So MCAP is the market capitalization. Market capitalization is total number of companies. When you write off all companies, take up stock. Where the size of one company was the other. It's called market capitalization. Market capitalization is also called MCAP. MCAP market calculated. Market price is the number of shares. So MCAP equals to market price into the number of shares. So for example, you can take MCAP that TCS company. The total MCAP of TCS is 10,000 crores. Next topic, index construction. It is the computational methodology for construction of stock market indexes are there are three types. The first one, free float market capitalization weighted index, market capitalization weighted index, and price weighted index. So we can call minority shareholders. They have to have this shares. So we can call minority shareholders. So international stock market or international equity stuff. That's in Germany, it has 30 countries. FTS is located in UK. It has 100 companies. FTX, Singapore, it has 50 companies. Dow Jones is located in USA and it has 30 companies. Next, NYS is located in USA and Hansen is located in Hong Kong. These are the international stock exchanges. Trading system is also called as price type order matching. Giving out the huge structured company. And last trading rate is 63.25. Order system is the order matching system, buy order, sell order, or matching order. Buy order will take its price.
Very good. Thank you.
Stock market is not a rocket science, it is a common sense. Whatever price intraday is a you can buy or sell shares in a day. Next option is there is a long term and very short term. Curency is from capital carry. SLV stop this, SLV stop this market, stop loss market. That's all.
Things will be coming in our discussion because of my experience with the market of the look forward. So many things that are coming up in the last discussion, we will note out and increasing our knowledge. I feel is the best tool. We should get some very good things out of this last 51 million, 51 unique brands like I have. Okay, we start market about that case is into channel before you become one brands of this investment. Because generate list you try to observe take response about the answer this. The module 2 I don't want to start right now. So our latest article, there is one news cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency exchange one day million of dollars. Sam Bankman Fried SPFI. Cryptocurrency FTX. Cryptocurrency name of this. Cryptocurrency and art and music. Cryptocurrency online Bitcoin and finance cryptocurrency it is a related finance. Okay. So that it's simple layman market cryptocurrency. Until then we will go to university Bangalore. You want to tell us something about cryptocurrency at level 5. He will come on the Zoom and explain to us. After there are notes coming. So 10 minutes we will have. Yes, complete. Yeah, complete. So మనకి exam ఒక section right move and right move. So exam you read out the question. Exam module 1 లో మనకి question bank question bank మీకు ఆల్రెడీ స్టేట్ దాంట్లో module 1 లో 10 క్వశ్చన్స్ ఇస్తారు. ఆ క్వశ్చన్ గురించి మీకు అసైన్మెంట్. ఆ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటి అనేది ఒకవేళ మీరు ఓపెన్ చేయకపోయినా కూడా చేస్తున్నారు.
There are 10 questions in module 1. The first one has some questions. First one, A. Describe the characteristics of investors, speculators, and gamblers. B. Explain the impact of each on the investment process. Second question. Explain about different types of investments and their activities in India. Third question. A. Summarize various features of India's securities market. B. Compare India's stock market before 1994 to the present scenario in 2022. Fourth question. B. Explain about Indian stock market indices. B. Instead LSC. It is a 50 bank and Nifty 200. Next question. Summarize global stock market indices with the special references to Dow Jones, S&P 500, Nifty 25 and ISM. Question. Explain in detail intraday trading. Explain margin trading. Seventh question. Summarize the origin and purpose of basic stock exchange of India. Eighth question. Explain life cycle of the stock market transaction. Insta trading, clearing, and certificate National Stock Exchange of India. Ninth question. Describe types of investors, gambling, forms of fair investment. Tenth one. Explain different types of investment avenues for investment.
So, you have seen the CNBC video on this. We have to take our let's question why to make you very real. So, I get those in the level higher. Then, let's better. ఏ క్వశ్చన్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు ఆవు కదా రాశాడు స్టూడెంట్ మనకి గిరి ఉన్నాడు ఇక్కడ క్వశ్చన్ ఇచ్చాడు క్వశ్చన్ ఇస్తే అంటే హెలికాప్టర్ గిరి చేసేటే హెలికాప్టర్ పోతున్నాను హెలికాప్టర్ నేను ఎందుకు చెప్తున్నానంటే వారు ఏ క్వశ్చన్ అడిగినా కూడా మీరు చూసుకురాయండి stock market, NSE, index, trading, clearing, settlement, gambling. In Kokora, he might be the so technically cryptocurrency currencies which are in form of digital the cryptocurrency is built on blockchain technology, which is newly developed technology where the artificial intelligence is completely field of saying should the transaction has been processed, whereas these transactions are not based on the mediaries, whereas like how generally traditional way of banking works, Most of the transactions cryptocurrencies are based on peer to peer. For suppose, like sorry, FTX, which is an exchange for cryptos, where we can purchase and sell.
Next, madam,
Purchase and sell cryptos.
block chain and the peer to peer and the level of cryptocurrency and even school percent graduate. What different?
So Bitcoin, there is only Bitcoin as idea. This Bitcoin so Bitcoin అనేది ఒక cryptocurrency. It is a way of which Bitcoin అనేది first but అదే cryptocurrency అని వర్తించేది. So Bitcoin
ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందా బిట్కాయిన్ ఎక్కడ కనపడలేదు నాకు ఎప్పుడు జనరల్
digital
ఇష్టం అదే అట్లా చెప్పు.
proof of stake suppose ఇప్పుడు మన ఇండియన్ రూపీస్ అనేది గోల్డ్ రిజర్వ్స్ మీద బేస్ చేసి జనరేట్ ప్రింట్ చేస్తున్నాం. ఇప్పుడు బిట్కాయిన్ అనేది సప్లై బేస్ చేస్తున్నాం.
ఇప్పుడు బిట్కాయిన్ ఇస్తే నాకు సికింద్రాబాద్ టీ ఇస్తాడా?
మొత్తం కానీ క్రిప్టోకరెన్సీ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేసేస్తారు. ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ just like India governments of the pure అదే వాడతారు. అదే కన్వర్సనరీ blockchain current each cryptocurrency వాళ్ళ జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. అది ర్యాండమ్ జనరేట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఆ cryptocurrency వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ప్యూర్ కోడ్ దగ్గర ప్లేస్ చేసుకొని స్కాన్ చేసినప్పుడు ఆ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ అనేది గ్యాస్ గ్యాస్ అనేది బ్లాక్ for suppose Bitcoin 200 rupees release that yeah it's strong which is already Bitcoin price 150 transaction 8,000 transaction 8 transaction fixed Ethereum వచ్చి separate Ethereum వచ్చి high suppose అది కొన్నిసార్లు వచ్చి మన లిమిట్ బట్టి మన దానికి గ్యాస్ అయిపోతారు. అదే క్రిప్టో ఈ యూపీఐ ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ కాకపోతే రీఫండ్ అవుతుంది. క్రిప్టో అయితే వన్స్ మీరు ఏదైనా రాబడి ఎంటర్ చేసుకుంటే ఇంకా డౌట్ ఇక్కడ మనకు మనం ట్రాన్సాక్షన్ సెండ్ అయిపోయినప్పుడు కంప్లీట్ డీటెయిల్స్ అన్ని యాక్టివేషన్ ఉందా లేదా చెక్ చేసుకుని క్రాస్ చెక్ చేసుకుని సెండ్ చేయాలి. వేరే రాబడి సెండ్ అయినా అవును అది రిటర్న్ కానీ మనకనే ఇప్పుడు వచ్చి అసలు దాని వాల్యూ అప్పుడు నేను సపోజ్ సపోజ్ ఒకటే ఇప్పుడు బిట్కాయిన్ అనేది respect management economics. Cryptocurrency dividends on the basis. Is smart contract. What blockchain? Other blockchains, right? Ethereum blockchain, Mila Shiba Infinity, smart contract. Time prices. Different lines. Could withdrawals be deposits mean where education deposits are? ఇప్పుడు ఆ ఎక్స్టెండ్ కూడా మళ్ళీ సపోజ్ ఫైనాన్స్ మార్కెట్ కూడా
ఫైనాన్స్ ఒక ఎక్స్టెండ్ నేను రాత్రి మార్కెట్ అంటే బ్లాక్ మార్కెట్ వచ్చేది FTX-Collapse లోనే చాలా
ఫైనాన్స్ కూడా ఫస్ట్ వాళ్ళు కూడా ఒక ఎక్స్చేంజ్ అతను కూడా ఇన్వెస్టర్ తను క్లియర్ కావాల్సిన ఏం చేస్తారు సో క్రిప్టో పొటెన్షియల్ అనేది అదంతా చేసి అతను క్రియేట్ చేసి అగ్రెసివ్ గా ఫామ్ అనేది పాలసీ మార్కెట్ ఎక్స్పోర్టర్ చేసి తనకై తను ఒక ఎక్స్చేంజ్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఇప్పుడు తనకై ఓన్ బ్లాక్ చైన్ క్రియేట్ చేసి ఒక నార్మల్ ఇన్వెస్టర్ క్రిప్టో లీడర్ ఇప్పుడు క్రిప్టో లీడరే క్రిప్టో మార్కెట్ లీడరే ఫైనాన్స్ బ్లాక్ చైన్ వచ్చి తక్కువ క్యాష్ చేయమని అదే 18 ఆల్మోస్ట్ 3000 క్యాష్ కాయిన్స్ ఈ వీళ్ళు బిట్కాయిన్ అనేది సంథింగ్ మిక్స్ ఇండివిజువల్ బాండ్స్ బిట్కాయిన్ అనేది బిట్కాయిన్ అనేది మిలియన్స్ ఆఫ్ డాలర్స్ పనిచేసి ఈ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ స్మార్ట్ డిస్కౌంట్ సపోజ్ 20 lakhs బిట్కాయిన్ వేరే ఎక్స్చేంజ్ 20 lakhs 2000 సో ఈ బిట్కాయిన్ ఎక్స్చేంజ్ లో పర్చేజ్ చేసిన వేరే ఎక్స్చేంజ్ వాళ్ళ ఆపరేషన్ whereas in stock market with our company and family close rate stock market assets and whereas in stock market follow to work to consumption of what I am and basically Shiva and founder out the also later explain about the FTX-Collapse.
మేడం సో సమ్మరీ ఇది సో సపోజ్ సార్ రాలేదు సార్ హైదరాబాద్ వెళ్ళాడు మనం ఏం చేయాలి క్లాస్ రేపు మన ఆకాశం పార్టీ అట్లా మన షేర్ చేసుకోవాలి తర్వాత మనకి వీడియోస్ యూట్యూబ్ ఓకే తర్వాత మార్కెట్ రివ్యూ ఈరోజు స్టాక్ మార్కెట్ రివ్యూ మీరు డిస్కషన్ ఏంటి తెలిసిన వాడు ఏం చేయాలి ఉన్నట్లే ఈ ఫైనాన్స్ ల్యాబ్ లో మీరు అట్లా చేసుకుంటున్నారు సో నో ఐ జస్ట్ ట్రై టు కనెక్ట్ మేడం ఈమె క్రిప్టో కరెన్సీలో ఫేమస్ అన్నమాట, డాక్టర్ ఫిర్దౌస్ ఖాన్ అని. మీరు ఆ విని డౌట్ రాసుకోండి. ఆ నెక్స్ట్ లాస్ట్ లో విల్ హ్యావ్ Q&A.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, madam. Morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, is sound good. Thanks for joining us, madam. I will just our around 100 of our students are listening actively.
Awesome. Awesome.
So our students are in the classroom, madam.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Nice to see the students.
One minute, madam. I am just trying to
Sure.
set up. Jagdish, madam, are you able to listen, madam?
Yes, I
Are you able
can
to hear us?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, madam.
Welcome, sir.
We are having all finance students. Sorry, we are having a finance students who are eager to know about this cryptocurrency, madam.
Okay. Okay. Good, good, good to
So-
see them, sir. Good to see them.
Yeah, I will just introduce you to our students, but then I will hand over to you. So we are very happy to have Dr. Firdaus Khan, who is an expert in this field, and she is from TIS, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and works with various business schools in Bangalore. And we are very fortunate to have her interact with our students, with all of you. We are, in fact, we are in a type 3 city in Andhra Pradesh, madam.
Yes, sir.
That is near Chennai, actually.
Okay.
It is very difficult for us to get experts like you who are in the corporates and the big cities. In fact, our students are very fortunate to listen to you, madam. With this brief introduction, I request you to interact with our cryptocurrency. This is FTX.
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead, madam. You can.
Okay. I thought maybe I had to wait for some introduction. Okay, good morning. I'm really happy to see students. Sir is very kind to, give a very big profile. I'm just a professor in a B school. That's my first identity. I love my field, so I make effort to know about the field. Are you able to hear me properly? Just put a thumbs up if you can, if you can hear me properly.
Yes, madam.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Are you able to follow when I speak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I have been teaching for about 21 years, MBA students. So only MBA, PGDM, executive education. And I basically am not a teacher, I'm a student of finance. So if something interesting happens in the field of finance, I like to read and learn a little bit more. And my second passion actually is financial literacy. Even I, as a person, have been doing investing and learning more and more about the field. And then, of course, the courses that I teach are wealth management, investment banking, economics. So all these kind of topics, require me to also keep my focus on what is happening in the industry. So financial literacy is also the topic on which I have done my PhD. And I feel that oftentimes people don't understand that financial literacy is also everyday thinking and everyday improvement of your understanding of the world of finance around you. So that is the reason why this topic I found very interesting. And I was told to cover the decline or the collapse of FTX. So that I will cover today. But generally, if you're interested in cryptocurrency and things like that, then that will have to be another day. But today we will have a look at what went wrong with this particular cryptocurrency exchange and how we as intelligent investors or as intelligent people in the field of finance can learn some lessons from this particular fiasco. That is going to be my, so you have disabled screen sharing. You will have to enable it.
Yes, 1 minute.
So that's my objective today, that let's have a look at the story. Yes, sir, I can share now. Let's have a look at the story and maybe understand some important things about it. If you find it a little boring, I'm really sorry. I already, 1 second. So if you're finding it a little, difficult or a little not easy to understand or any such issue, please do let me know. I will try to kind of simplify and make it a little more meaningful to you, because at the end of the day we are here because our students want to know, right? Like I told you, my identity is first as a student of the field. So my job first is to make sure that the field is understood more than anything else. So can I start, sir?
Yes, madam.
Okay. So basically, we have a look at FTX collapse, okay, and what exactly happened in this particular crypto exchange. What happened, why it happened, what can we learn as intelligent people within the field? That's the objective. So that's my name. And like I told you, I do have 21 years teaching. I have done corporate training. I love research. I've written case studies and some papers also. So do, feel inspired to just focus on knowledge and nothing more. So basically, we are living in the era of technology disruption. Technology has no doubt disrupted finance, okay? And this disruption or this major change is basically being done to improve and to bring financial services to the next level. So it needs to improve and augment financial services. That's the reason why we have so much of tech inside finance. But we also see that technology is being used to fool people and not to disrupt the service, but to disrupt the lives of some people, isn't it? So if you are a good student of MBA, you might be knowing that nowadays there is a lot of talk about how this is crypto winter. So cryptocurrency has been trending for quite some time, cryptos in general. And then again, you have versions of that. You have stable coins, you have got tokens, you have a whole universe of digital assets. And lately we hear that there's a crypto winter since the last quarter. So it's been trending right up till about, the height of it was 2020, 2021. And now lately in 2022, for the past 3 months, we've been seeing like a proper winter, but not just winter, it's a bloodbath. A lot of people have lost money. So overall, the crypto market's capitalization of worth has come drastically down. It has lost about $1 trillion worth of valuation. And also every big project, more than $1 billion has crashed. And if you look at the market, it's only those who have entered the market to fool people, to scam people. They have made money. So they have created cryptocurrencies to cheat people and they have exited. Or there are hackers who have hacked into accounts and stolen cryptocurrency. They seem to be the only ones who have recently made money. And especially something called centralized exchanges has lost its value. Okay, so can I ask, I think you can't talk back, so maybe like I can't ask questions, but I just want you to think about how did cryptocurrency start? Why is there anything called cryptocurrency also in the world? So we'll have a look at that a little later in a few slides, okay? So let's basically look at, there is a crypto winter, there's a lot of loss on crypto, and therefore one of the best stories to understand all this situation would be the FTX story. And why the FTX story? Because it is literally like a Bollywood film. It has got so many things in it. So there is a person who started the company. He's supposed to be a genius. He was a quant trader. Then he gets along. He creates this kind of a business in the Bahamas, not in the US. He's a US citizen. He gets together college buddies. He launches a crypto called FTT. He launches a crypto stock exchange or crypto exchange called FTX. And then as the story goes ahead, because he's from a wealthy family, he's a super intelligent person, he's from MIT, he gets easy money. And a lot of big names in the field of finance have given him money to start this business. Then celebrities come in, they endorse, they tell other people to also join, other investors come in, and the crypto exchange grows very fast compared to any other story that you will see. And at the same time, this person, Sam Bankman-Fried, he's also trying to give some money to charity. He's also, going and meeting politicians. He's talking about the industry. So like a proper hero, like a lot of excitement from the FTX side and from the founder's side. Therefore, the story is really very exciting, and I hope I'll be able to capture your attention. And then the second deeper layer comes in. That is it a centralized exchange? Is it a decentralized exchange? Are the employees happy? Are they following some rules and regulations or not? And the most shocking part is that regulators and government, when they are watching all this, what are they telling? Why are they not involved? And the heart of it all was a lot of moves. Somebody has told something on Twitter, somebody has reacted, somebody has removed money. Is this person the only person in the story? Who are the other people in this story? It's a lot of exciting parts to the story. So can I just, get a show of hands? Are you interested in the story at all? Thumbs up. Are you interested? Okay, thank you. Thank you. So let's go ahead. Let's start by what are we going to do today? We'll try to understand exactly what was the business of FTX. What business was FTX really in? Really? Yes, it's called a crypto stock exchange, crypto exchange, but was it really doing that? And then what are the important markers, important evidence in a business entity that if I am investing in this company, what all I should think about, look at before I make my investment? So these two things you should learn at the end of this session. So basically FTX was launched in 2019, and in a year itself, it had $85 million worth of revenue. And then the next year in 2021, it had crossed a little over $1 billion revenue. And that meant to earn 1 billion, they must have had about 719 billion. Okay, this got cut here. So they had an exchange of about 700 billion to earn a revenue of more than 1 billion. And in no time, within 2 years, they had 1.2 million users. Okay. And then by 2020, even up to July 2020, they had a valuation of 32 billion like massive, mighty big company. And within no time, it became a big contender, big rival to the world's biggest crypto exchange, that is Binance. And did you know that actually the founder of Binance, that is Changpeng Zhao, he himself has invested in FTX. When FTX started, one of the initial investors was CZ, okay, the one who started Binance. Now, what is interesting is that, yes, it was the rise of FTX, but it was also the personality of its founder. So like I told you, his name, Samuel Bankman-Fried. So he is the son of two law professors. He's an MIT graduate. He has done some, he has a little bit of experience as a quant trader. And then he founded Alameda Research in 2017. And as this exchange is growing larger and larger, he becomes this very visible, popular personality. The way he presents himself also, like he's some eccentric, genius, like he's going to change the world of cryptocurrencies. So he promises to give a lot in charity. He goes and gives donations to Democrats when they have recent elections and the primaries. Then he is crafting himself as an industry leader who's going to change cryptocurrencies industry and make it more fair. So people who are not knowing much, they will also not fear to enter. And this particular story, he has delivered through some celebrities who have done celebrity endorsements. So he's literally, his ads were like that you might know anything, you might not know anything, but we are here, we are safe, you can trust us. So this personality and this exchange both are actually joined together. And then initially FTX has made some very big decisions. So before FTX, as you saw in the earlier slides, before FTX, he has actually started, so I haven't told you here. So before FTX, he has started actually Alameda. As you can see here, he has started Alameda in 2017, Alameda Research, and then 2019, he has started FTX. So when FTX started, it began with the reputation of Alameda, that it is one of the biggest crypto traders. And what did they do? They arbitraged Bitcoin. That means they bought Bitcoin in a market that had got low valuation and sold it in another market where there was higher valuation. And then slowly they got into crypto projects when other founders were, founders of a cryptocurrency, a creative cryptocurrency was creating a new crypto. They would get in and take some kind of a stake in that. And especially one big name that they got into was Solana, which is supposed to be Ethereum's rival. And then basically what we need to focus on is that FTX was always about quant trading, meaning they were always focused on derivatives. This price changes between 2 markets, 3 markets. Our price is going to go up. Can you predict the price? Okay. So they had the dream. So SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, he had this dream that he wants to move derivatives into a space where it becomes non-risky. It becomes institutional grade. People need not fear derivatives and such kind of trading. Now, when that has been the initial boldness to set up the cryptocurrency exchange, recently when the market was going down, where already there was problem in the crypto market, at that time they came forward again like leaders, and they have tried to buy out crypto lenders and these businesses when they were falling. So quickly they have made mergers and acquisitions to buy out a failing business called BlockFi. And they wanted to take the cryptocurrency, the assets of Voyager. Meaning what? Again, the image is what? That it's a rescuer. It's a big, bankable, reliable kind of a business. And then, therefore, everybody thought that, okay, FTX is such a strong player. Please make note of the timeline. Even in July, August, very strong company. Everybody's in love with the company. So basically what was happening was there was something called a bubble building in crypto. So here, and I'm really sorry, I normally like interactive sessions. I'll just explain it to you. I hope that you know, and I'm sure many people know that Satoshi Nakamoto, he has launched Bitcoin in 2008. So his vision was that why is it that central banks get to decide currency? Why is it centralized? Why can't we break away from these big institutions that may or may not be fair? So the discussion was to make it decentralized. The vision was to make it decentralized. And that code has been picked up and it's become an entire movement called blockchain technology. Now, the beauty, and I'm sure a lot of us have learned a lot in COVID, blockchain truly is a game changer. It can bring about a lot of change. It can solve real world problems, but it is still not in place. It is something that is being built by a lot of people. It's not already a system in place. These are very, very unique, small ideas that have to now escalate. And they're coming from private parties. It hasn't come into the public space. And we know now governments are talking about central bank digital currencies, right? So what has happened is because this idea is good, because people believe in it, now many people come to participate in the would-be gains, in the future gains. So I'm sure you must have heard about tulip mania. So just to keep this story very, very short, tulips will not grow throughout the year. They grow only in a certain season, tulip flower. So naturally, when there is an idea that this is a valuable thing, it will grow only for a short while and we don't know how much will grow. So what happens? Instead of the farmer and the ultimate person who will use the flowers, traders got into this, saying that I will buy tulip from you at so-and-so price. So even before the tulips are cut and coming to the market, there are contracts. So farmers are saying, I will sell at so-and-so rate. Traders are buying, I will buy at so-and-so rate. I will sell at so-and-so rate. So this is exactly what happens when you have too much of churn. The people who want it, the people who are creating it and the people who are using it, they are not connecting directly. A lot of other people have entered the market, and that is when a bubble happens. And that is what happened also for cryptos. There in this recent past, we have seen too many hustlers. Too many people have entered to create their own versions of cryptocurrency. You have this expert on LinkedIn called Rohas Nagpal. He also has been saying that too many of first layer cryptocurrencies have been created. If you go to the Motley Fool, and I was shocked because in 2020, my two students were writing two different cases on cryptocurrencies. Just the Ponzi schemes, and it's all there to read. It's not like it's not available in public domain. 12,000 cryptocurrencies, easy to create a cryptocurrency. Just pay a quarter, $20 or less, and he'll create a currency for you. And that is how too many people are getting attracted. No real economic activity is happening. No real change is happening. That was bound to fail. And that is what has happened. Therefore, what do we learn as investors? We have to keep in mind every time we are investing, is the economic model stable? Can I see a clear buyer? Can I see a clear seller? And it is very painful for me as a faculty in the field of finance to watch my students get overexcited about quantitative trading. And I'm not saying it's not good, and there is value for that, but you cannot just look at pricing. You have to, at some point of time, look at what is this business? What are the economic factors driving it? You can't be myopic as a professional in the field of finance. That clarity has to be there in finance students, is what I believe. So first, as an investor, see, is there a clear economic model? Can you see a buyer? Can you see a seller? Is this buyer going to stay long enough? Is the seller also going to survive? Is this economic model safe and stable? Then you enter. Then you want to invest here. You also see how many times there is a churn. What is the real asset you're selling? What is the financial asset people are buying and selling? And that is where you have the example of course, the subprime crisis, or the what is now being called the great financial crisis, where you had land, but land, physical land, real land became a financial instrument that is being bought and sold, and the true value of that asset got disconnected from the financial value. That is bubble in finance, where you have a true intrinsic value, and then suddenly this over enthusiasm and this marketing and this kind of, haziness that people build. Even the way we have seen in IPOs, there is too much of marketing, too much of push, some new metrics being created. That, as an investor, I need to be careful about. So I want to always focus on what is this real economic activity, this business. What is its real economic activity? I need to understand that before I start investing. Is this clear? Can I go ahead? Any questions here? Just a thumbs up if I can go ahead. Okay, thank you. So let's move ahead to what really happened to FTX. And you will find it so exciting if you haven't read it already. It was literally within days, a big, wonderful, everybody loves kind of a company just collapsed like a pack of cards. It's literally an action-packed thriller. So on 2nd November, what we find is that there was an internet leak. And in that leak, there was information that these two sister companies, FTX and Alameda, everybody knew that the team is same kind of friends are there, same kind of people are taking decisions. They're very friendly. They sit in the same room. They seem to be quite cozy and friendly. But in the internet leak, there was financial information that not only is it that it's a group of same people doing two business, but the two companies are terribly linked together. They're really linked together. So then you had the leak told that whatever were the assets of Alameda, the quant trading company, the hedgers, their assets were in FTT. Their assets were not in any currency. Their assets were in a cryptocurrency. And at that time, the cryptocurrency had some good enough valuation when this leak was released. Not only that, Alameda's capital is in a crypto, but another report told that FTX has used the same crypto as collateral. So FTX creates the crypto, FTX uses that to borrow money, and its sister concern is showing the same crypto as asset. Okay. So naturally, the point here is that crypto itself is a very risky asset. And then now you have two very big sized companies, massive companies who have involved so many 1.2 million people into its business, and they don't have clean assets, they don't have clean ownership, and then it's dependent on something that's very, very volatile. So this was a big black hole that suddenly everybody knew on the internet. So obviously everybody was concerned. What if people start removing money and they start asking their money back? Do they have any reserves? Have they kept any free capital also to rescue themselves? So that became the big question that was floating on the internet 2nd of November. So within those few days, so much of churn has happened, so much of discussion has happened. The friendly investor CZ, he decided that because when he has taken this ownership, when he has participated to become an investor in FTX, that investment also was in FTT. So partly in his currency, Binance, and partly in FTT. So because this news came out that there is no true currency supporting these businesses, it's all crypto. So he has decided that I don't want to hold this in its current form. And he started liquidating. He started selling off his stake. Okay. Now, naturally, if the biggest cryptocurrency exchange owner starts losing faith in this particular business, everybody else also started doubting. So when CZ was selling off his stake, and this was again announced to the world, within 15 minutes, the CEO of Alameda got back, onto Twitter saying that they will buy tokens. Instead of CZ selling in the open market, Alameda will buy off. And they gave a valuation. And because of this communication only, public communication on Twitter, the whole space became so excited, and like a lot of people started selling. And throughout that particular day only, the crypto FTT price was dipping and rising. And they had a lot of trouble. And everybody says this only was the beginning of the end. This is exactly where, after this point, it only was a negative story. So on 7th, there was a tweet by SBF saying that one of our investors is spreading false rumors. Actually, we are a very good company and we're strong enough. We can support anything that any rumors that people have are unsubstantiated. We are a solid business. But within those 72 hours, $6 billion worth of FTT had been sold off. And the price crashed to just merely $6. And then there was this rumor that yes, Binance will probably buy out FTX completely. But then the next day, there was an announcement that yes, they have turned to us to rescue them because now they are in trouble. Their entire capital has got eroded. There's a run on the company. People want their money back. And therefore, we are stepping in to buy them in their distress. So if you will see here, there's something called a non-binding letter of intent. So when companies go for an M&A, so the buyer will sign a non-binding letter of intent saying that in good faith, I will have a look at your financials and then decide whether I want to go ahead with this M&A or not. So in this move, when they have said that they would like to purchase FTX, now Binance has had a look at some more financials and they were absolutely upset. And they said, no way are we entering these murky waters. So on 8th itself, they had a look at the books. By 9th, they have said that no, we are not happy. There is a lot of mishandling of customer funds. And we know that now the US agency is investigating. So there was a Bloomberg report on 9th that now FTX is under investigation. Therefore, also Binance said, no way, we are not thinking about buying this particular exchange. So what happens the next day? Next day, there's a bankruptcy declared for FTX. There is a big long tweet written by SBF explaining where he went wrong. And then the entire team has resigned, especially the team at this effective altruism, the group that was trying to do good work, apparently. So the entire team resigned. And then, of course, they were pushed into bankruptcy by 11th. So by 11th, officially, there was no question of resigning anymore anyway. Officially, they are a dead company. They have to be revived. The regulators take over. And this very, very famous person called John J. Ray III, he is made the CEO now of FTX to look into what all is wrong with this particular company. And he's the same person who has settled the matter for the liquidation of Enron, when Enron has done a massive fraud. Okay, that's another hint that, see, the fraud is so big that you had to bring in a veteran and an expert. Then later on, this is the shocking thing about an internet business. Not only that they were in trouble, later the same day on 11th, hackers have hacked FTX and they've moved off $300 million out of the accounts. And then SBF, through his tweets particularly, has advised users to delete their mobile app. And he also complained that some employee has misused it or some app was hacked or some of the employee was hacked. But that's a different story. And then when the investigation started, by 13th November, there was this information that more than $1 billion are missing. Customers who have paid up money, their money is missing, it's unaccounted. And then finally, 2 days later, there has been a case filed against all the brand ambassadors who lured customers to join this particular exchange. So you like to say something?
Please continue.
Okay, sir. And then within the next 2 days, the CEO of now FTX, Mr. Ray, he made a big statement. He says, never in my career have I seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as occurred here. No proper information, no control, no governance. From compromised systems integrity, the computers, who is able to open what files, to even the way they're reporting to regulatory authorities in Bahamas itself. Where is the board? Board of governors of FTX does not exist. And then there is a concentration of control in the hands of a very small group, some 4 people, 5 people, sitting at the desk with each other and even living together in a flat. And not just that they are controlling, they are inexperienced. They are just traders. They have never run a financial company. They have never run a company. So forget about reporting mechanisms, forget about corporate control, risk management, nothing. And then they have gotten into this very sophisticated space that is so quick also. It runs very quickly. Within seconds, money is removed. Within seconds, a company collapses. And therefore, they have also compromised the data of a lot of these investors and users. So Mr. Ray has made this comment that this situation is unprecedented. Even Enron is nothing in front of this. And the other shocking part about internet services is that even from a dead body, People eat. I mean, you have scavengers. So even when the whole story became very obvious on 15th itself, and then on 17th also, now the investigation is telling us what has happened, still there were hackers. And they have released a deep fake video in which they show that SBF is asking people what to do to be able to remove whatever their money is stuck. And in that way, they have again scammed people and earned money. They have duped people and have made money even in a dying company on his name. It was a deep fake video, not a true video. Okay. So now let's focus on. So first we learned is that what is the economic model? Now what we have to look at is that what is the meaning of this internet business? Okay. There is some misunderstanding in Indian students that, okay, the internet business, it doesn't need to be regulated. But that's not true. Yes, there is no regulator for the internet protocol. There is no ownership to the internet protocol. But when you build a business on top of the protocol, those businesses are regulated. So those businesses usually are publicly limited companies, or they're private companies registered somewhere. Or when they become bigger, they become publicly listed companies. Even otherwise, if you're doing any such internet business, each country encourages the founders to register for anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing laws. So AML CFT is now in many countries. If you have any money being wired from point A to point B, you have to follow certain norms. And that is self-declared by the companies, but there are strict norms. So even in the UK particularly, they have been very active to get these companies into the fold. So it's not that internet businesses can't be controlled, they can't be regulated. It's not that internet businesses are behaving like that. There are a lot of internet businesses that self-regulate. They have their own mechanisms in place. They have diversity. They have a lot of people. There's a check and balance. There is a governance. Okay, so this was like a very unique case. We have never seen anything like this. So it's very simple. Every company, whatever it is, even if it is a one-person company that we have seen in India, you have to declare who's the shareholder, who is the board member. You have to have auditing. You have to show compliance. It is not like a freak show like this. Okay. So FTX actually did not have an HR department. They had no accounting department. Whatever we saw earlier when they have bought out, when they have bailed out businesses, they have no entry, no proper legal entry for that. Employees were given some kind of loans, no documentation for that, no proper legal documentation, some entry somewhere, incomplete entries. So this is, I'm sorry, this is layer. Even the next layer. So when all this problem is happening on 15th, at that time also they tried to call new layers of investors that come in and give us money, bail us out. And at that time, few investors also showed some interest. And when they showed them their documents, their so-called auditing documents, their accounts, they were freaked out that they haven't even properly maintained their accounts. And then a lot of investors that particular night said, no, we don't want to get into this business. It seems to be very, very bad. Now people are asking that when there were such big venture capital firms, why did they not put their foot down? When this is happening in front of everybody, why have they not put their foot down? So people are asking, why is it that this person has gotten away with funding without even having a board for his company? There's no board of directors for his company. And normally when VCs give money, I think all of us have seen enough of Shark Tank, they also want to have a stake. They want to have a board member. They will tell how to run the company. All that was completely missing in FTX. So now what do we need to think about as intelligent investors? Virtual does not literally mean company doesn't have a form. And that is something that I am seeing nowadays when I do my own reading. I want to go and see where this company is incorporated. Now I see one new thing. WFH. This is a company that is WFH. Yes, your employees are working from home, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have a form, right? So even work from home companies have a form. They have a governance mechanism. They have a reporting mechanism. They have got due diligence. They have compliance. They have auditing. Okay, so this was something very unusual. They were virtual and they literally did not have a form. A company without a proper form. It didn't have departments. It didn't have proper shareholders declared. The assets of both the companies were the same. No audit process. It was more like just a bunch of kids who got together and just thought that, okay, we can run this. We can become really big and we can become, these movers and shakers, where the foundation only was missing. Okay. So what we need to think about is that a digital business is easy to set up. Please remember, it is very easy to start a digital business. And if you are good, if you can do some marketing, if you have the contacts, if you have the network, you can even scale it up. You can make it really large. But a lot of these tech businesses genuinely, so nobody is saying that everything is bad. This case was a little too unique. A lot of internet businesses are building the world of tomorrow. So when they are pitching to investors or to clients and customers, obviously they're talking about tomorrow's world. But that tomorrow's world is not a part of their business today, right? So you and I as investors, if we want to come in and participate in this business as investors or as customers, it is our job to educate ourselves. So if cryptocurrency is going somewhere, not going somewhere, it doesn't mean that one day you are so enthusiastic and the second day you are like, okay, no, this is terrible. That's a lazy attitude. You should be intelligent enough to want to know who are the pioneers of this field, which different routes this field is taking, who are the realists, who are those who have too much of exuberance, who are creating, who are marketing, who are not in this industry but are talking about it. So it is, and there is enough information out there to educate yourself. Okay. So now we go ahead to the third part. The business was really murky. It was not very efficient, not very clean. What we saw is that towards the end, when the story was really coming out, some employees have actually released all that data. And they have told how Alameda and FTX were just two firms. There was a group of people just sitting at computer screens and talking to each other and doing their work. So it's like literally that's how close the two teams, like the two firms are actually, entangled. It's a small group of people making decisions at their level. They don't even tell the employees. The employees also don't know what change they have made in the code. And if you have read, a lot of allegations are there. So you can read and educate yourself what changes they made in the code also, without even telling employees. Okay. And then, of course, this was supposed to be a centralized crypto exchange. So even Binance is a centralized crypto exchange where they themselves are creating their ecosystem. But if you go back to Satoshi Nakamoto's vision, he wanted finance to be decentralized. It should not group up that some people have got control over these financial transactions. So there itself, it was not a decentralized, essentially FTX was a centralized exchange, but they also had a smaller division called Serum. It was a decentralized exchange where FTX founders and the team could not manipulate and should not know about these contracts. But afterwards, investors came to know that they had the key. They had the private keys to those cryptocurrencies. And then they lost interest. Is Serum alive today? Yes, it is. It is alive. It has forked into a different route now. But what I'm saying is that not only was Alameda and FTX entangled, they also didn't run it properly as an exchange. One simple example I can give you is on NSE, on BSE. Are we having NSE team owning companies in India? No. Are we having NSE, BSE team taking decisions for companies? No. Okay. So, yes, sir. I can see that. So the point is that we need to be very, very clear that there has to be a distance between the stock exchange and what is being traded on the stock exchange. They cannot have undue power. So there is something called as a Chinese wall. Whenever there are two or more business, like whenever there is a big business having a lot of divisions, some divisions are from the buy side customers. They have customers who want to buy something. Other divisions have got customers who want to sell something. If both parties will be able to look at each other's data, then there will be some advantage that the other party will have. So what we do is that we keep a Chinese wall, a virtual barrier. If there's information, it can't flow from one business that is a rival or opposite party to the other business. So if you don't know about this already, please look up. Very, very important. No Chinese walls in FTX. Okay. Lastly now, so people are asking that why is it that the company was able to get away with so much? There were all these big names. Temasek is a very big sovereign wealth fund. SoftBank is a very big venture capital. Not only that, it is very important to see that none of the statements presented by SBF were complete statements. He has only showed profit and loss statements. He never actually even handed over balance sheets to people. No cash flow statements were there. And then there was this herd mentality. Just because one or two very big investors came in, the other investors just assumed that the prior party has looked at the financials of the company when no financials existed only. Shocking, really shocking. And then the other interesting part is why so much of faith on somebody who was just a junior trader for 3 years. It's not like he has done anything earlier, right? So why this kind of exuberance and support? So what we need to understand in today's world is that not only that there are some people who are taking decisions about investments, these big parties also talk to each other. They are on Twitter. They're making some kind of claims, some kind of even squabbles. And then the rest of all the youngsters who are in this space, they react, they buy, they sell. Obviously now new regulations are coming in place. But the point is that there is so much of open conversation now. This information exchange is not pure anymore. There are interested parties who are also drumming up the anxiety. So if Binance wasn't buying, they could have just told the regulators and the information, and the company could have closed quietly. But there was no need for this bloodbath and this kind of a loss to, especially to customers. So what we need to understand is that as investors, we need to ask some questions. We can't assume that the big parties have done something on our behalf. As this case, we want to know now, was FTX a stock exchange or was FTX just a quantitative trader? Actually, when he has formed the business, SBF gave this pitch to VCs saying that FTX should become such a wonderful platform that you can transfer money anywhere in the world. You can exchange crypto into any currency around the world. And if a person even wants to just buy a banana, it will link to every kind of trading platform. Even if you want a banana, you should do it through FTX. But that is not what they were doing. They were basically still focused on taking money from the FTX users and FTX investors and pushing it to quantitative trading on Alameda. That is the story. So he was a quant trader, stayed a quant trader, no processes in place, all about some coding on the on computer screens. So therefore, to wrap, financial literacy has to be there when you are looking at investing. So I, as a financially literate person, I need to understand and set up a financial goal. I should understand what is my life position, how much is my earning, will it increase, how many responsibilities I have. I have to have a clear picture as to if I will lose money, how much money I will lose. I have to create a portfolio. Don't put all your money. A lot of youngsters very happy about the whole crypto scene. No earnings in place, don't know what money has been put into cryptos. And when you put into a risky product, you have to understand, you be prepared to lose the entire money. It actually goes down to zero, which will not happen in a real company. Okay. So you need to actually make a portfolio. If you want to really invest in something risky, not more than 5% to start with. And then you need to educate yourself. Try to understand what is so attractive about this company, but what is also risky, not company, this industry or this idea. So you educate yourself. You have a clear understanding of the market, understand what are the factors influencing this company, what is the economic model. If you don't have interest, if you don't understand all this, go to something called passive long-term portfolio. Put your money in ETFs, put your money in index funds and the mutual funds, and just stay invested. Or one more option, turn to a professional. The professional will sit down with you, create a plan for you, and you can then start investing. And you don't need to be a certain age to invest. You don't have to have a very big income. You can start investing today with 500 rupees on mutual funds. That is all from my side. I hope you found it a little useful at least. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you so much, madam. It was a wonderful presentation. We have a lot of new technologies and all these things. We have any one or two questions from the students.
Sure.
Charan, you can come before the cam and try to. Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
My name is Shanandela.
Yeah.
So actually, FTX had mishandled funds, which were transferred to his Almeida account,
Yes.
and SBF later transferred that funds into his parents' account, and later they went on to purchase properties in Bahamas and other countries. And also eventually FTX was firstly headquarters in Hong Kong.
Okay.
So there they used to raise funds, and later they shifted their headquarters into Bahamas, where Bahamas government would eventually call up
Question, come to question.
big investors there. But actually,
Okay, otherwise offline you can message, mail, madam. Yes, in the interest of time.
thank you.
Thank you. I'll just like to quickly say that let's not get carried away. Let's not make more stories. Yes, you're right. They were incorporated in Bahamas. Let's not go to his parents bought properties. This, that, not true. We don't know. Let's focus on what we know as evidence in news. Okay. But yes, you're right. That is the thing. They have completely sent money from FTX to Alameda. And then in the code, they changed the code. They were supposed to show how leveraged it was. Yes. So it was very high margin trading. Because they didn't have, they have called it labeling. We did not label the label. They have used the word label. Our labeling was wrong. I mean, they had no books of accounts. It is a crazy story. Thank you for your comments. Thank
We will,
you.
no, our students will contact you via mail and other things.
Sure, sir. Sure.
I request Pawan to say a few vote of thanks for madam's gesture towards interacting.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. This is
Good
Pawan Kumar. First of all, I would like to thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your valuable time. It's really much more informative. According to me, I'm not this finance background student earlier, but this kind of things by interacting with you, kind of really experienced ones, we are really blessed to be part of this institution. Thank you, sir. Thanks for your contribution. You are constantly supporting from the day one. And thank you, ma'am. Thanks for your information and thanks for your support, ma'am. Thank you.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
Thank you, madam.
Even I want to thank you, sir, not only that you put the comments so quickly, you organize. So I'm sure the students are very blessed to have a mentor like you. And I wish you all the very best, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. We'll look forward to having you physically on the campus. Physically on the campus.
Sure, sir. Sure. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care. Bye.